Hey guys, it's Bonnie from Dwelling Vlogs. I am picking a clean spot in my house to record a video with you guys about my latest creation, which is the novel Reflection, I'm calling it. It's like a novel study for The Secret Garden. This is a library book we borrowed. I got this book from our library. This version is beautiful. It was illustrated by Inga Moore, and the illustrations in this particular version are just really, really gorgeous and wonderful. So I highly recommend this version if you're looking for a copy of the book, but definitely check out your local library because they probably have one. And the guide that I made to go along with this novel Reflection, is huge. It's over 90 pages, plus I made a PDF for cursive and a PDF for manuscript traceable copywork that goes with the copywork in the guide for your younger kids. So first of all, yes, this is in my shop. Yes, I'm launching it, but also right now this is available inside of the book club bundle that is just launching. Sam from For the Love of Homeschooling is launching a book club right now for the summer, and it all groups together all of these resources that go along with summer books. And so this was my contribution to it, and there's a whole bunch of other wonderful creators and writers who are doing their own versions of contributions to different summer books. So go check it out. I will put the link below. The bundle is $25 for all of the resources that you get. There's 35 different books that have matching resources that go along with them. Or you can go to my shop and just purchase mine individually. That's what I'm going to be sharing about today. But I want to make sure you guys know about the bundle. The bundle ends, the $25 bundle ends on June 13th. So it's only going to be available for the 13 days and then it's gone. So make sure you get it while it lasts if you want the bundle. Otherwise, it's going to be in my shop for indefinitely. Okay, so what is the novel Reflection? What it is I've gone chapter by chapter and just had things to expand on. There's an index, and for every chapter, there's going to be, as you read, vocabulary. So I have like vocabulary words. Now this book was written in 1911, so there's a lot of words that we were not super familiar with, and because my kids are 3 and 6 and 8, we did have quite a few words that I wanted to look up and define correctly anyways. So your vocabulary is right there. There's discussion questions for each chapter to go through with your kids. And then what I have done is I have gone and I've researched different animals, plant life. There's things like one of the characters in the book is disabled in his back, so I explain what is scoliosis and things like that. So it's just like an expansion of information after you've read the chapter as well. And then every chapter there's a copywork passage to write out. Your older kids can just write it in their own notebook, or you can download the PDF in manuscript or cursive if you have kids who need to trace. And then what I thought was super fun, okay, in this book, if you've ever read it before, or when you read it, you will find out that a lot of the lingo in here is written with accent. There's a lot of people in Yorkshire, England, and the wording in the book is actually written with accent in it. And so it was so fun to like try to speak in Yorkshire accent. And so I included a little video barcode that you can scan or click on to kind of discover that. And then every chapter we have a little Yorkshire phrase for you and your kids to learn. Just for fun. We had so much fun with this. Oh my goodness, I just think it's super funny. I was thinking for this video, maybe I would try to like give you an example of how I read the Yorkshire accent, and then I was like, no, because I'm going to butcher it so bad. I have no problem reading with an accent in front of my children, but on YouTube in public posting, I don't think I will do that today. But I hope you have fun with it with your kids. It was a really big highlight for us. The other thing that's included is in the guide is once in a while there's other activities. There's a skipping activity. One chapter we stop and we look at book analysis and we analyze our book in more of a grammatical sense. There's a hymn study near the end because in the book they sing the doxology, so we're going to study that. There's a day to have tea time as a family and make some scones and clotted cream if you'd like to. There's a day to make some bird feeders. Two things that I do want to address with this book just for some families who will want to know more about this. The topics of kind of how dark it gets with topics of death and sadness. I want to talk about that with you guys, as well as the magical elements of this book. So the book starts off with Mary being a very spoiled but also a very neglected child, and at the very beginning her parents die of cholera, and she has to go and live with her uncle. So the beginning chapter does talk about her parents passing away. It's not very graphic at all. She's stuck in her room, but it's obvious that yes, she is orphaned in that first chapter. You could possibly skip the first chapter, kind of sum it up, and start with chapter 2, telling your kids, well, she's a spoiled brat and she's an orphan going to live with her uncle. The other thing is that Colin, who you meet later in the book, is a boy who has no mother, and the secret garden was his late mother's garden. And so the story very much evolves around this sort of sad essence of this person in this family who was lost, and a beauty and a joy that was lost with that, and this garden that was kind of closed. So that is definitely one of the themes of the book, whereas when you get to the end of the book, you have triumph over that. The son and the father who've lost their mother and wife find joy and find peace and work through some grief at the end of the book. So it's one of those things that they overcome. So I'm going to just leave that there. Take that how you will. Okay, and as for the magical elements of this, I just wanted to be a little bit sensitive to this. While these kids are just loving nature and appreciating every flower that's growing and the little spring things that are poking up out of the ground and all this wonderful stuff, oh my goodness, like after reading this book, I just want to be outside in my garden so much. It's so inspirational and so wonderful. And while they're watching all these amazing things happen, they are, as children, wondering who is to credit for all of these amazing things that are going on in nature around them. And so there is a little bit of talk of magic. There was one chapter where most of the chapter was where the children decided to just kind of walk around and chant and, you know, trying to get the magic to work more. And so it was just a little bit heavy on the magical end, and I thought not every family's going to be comfortable with that. So what I did in the guide is I actually put a little warning for parents at the beginning of the guide for that chapter, and I gave you about a 1 to 2 paragraph summary to read, so you could still know what happens in the book, connect the chapter before to the chapter after, and carry on away you go. So those are the only 2 things that I kind of wanted to address as far as sensitive topics. I think it's a lovely book. I really enjoyed reading it to my children. We really thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's definitely one of my favorite books at the moment. So if The Secret Garden is on your reading list and you would like to do it, please consider using my guide, because I think it's just awesome. This was born out of me wanting to read this book with my kids and wanting to find resources, and I kept going from website to website and clicking to download, subscribing to everybody, and clicking to download like one little thing at a time, one crossword and one activity and one coloring page and all this stuff. And I just thought, I just want everything in one place, and I want it to be easy, and I want what I want, and if I can't find what I want, then I'm going to just make it. So anyway, I had a huge amount of fun looking into things, researching with my kids as we read things, and hopefully creating something that's really, really useful as you read the book. So I'm very excited. I know it's really big, but it's not going to be too much. Like each day, like I said, you have as you read vocabulary, so that's not really taking up any extra time. You can just reference your vocabulary from there. And then there's usually 1 to 2 pages of little extra tidbits of information and pictures to read after that, and then your copy work and your little phrase to learn for the day. So it's really simple. It's 90 pages and it sounds like a lot, but it's actually going to be really, really nice and quick, just to really enrich your read aloud time together. So that was my goal. I hope you guys really enjoy this. Consider the book club option too, because it's a really great value to only pay $25 and get 35 books worth of extra resources if you happen to have the other books on your read aloud list. Click on the link, look through the book list, see if those other books are ones that are on your reading list. Some of them are chapter books like this, some of them are little and smaller books. So see if it's something that is for you. Thank you for chatting with me about all this, and have a great homeschool week. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.